Showtime!
It's about that time.
Let's go!
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah!
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
Hey, I'm getting on the mic, man. I'm getting on the mic once again. Once again, I am here for another show, and it may seem a little weird to you, but yeah, I'm all discombobulated with how I'm doing the podcast right now because things are overlapping and crazy. I'm like, yo, I'm just going to drop them. I'm just going to put them out there and keep them coming with you guys, and then you guys will catch up. And when I can slowly get back into my rhythm, I will. But yeah, I'm dropping another one this week. That the show that I dropped earlier this week was really something that was recorded last week, and I didn't get to drop it until like the literally midnight, and it came, I think Monday I dropped it, whatever like that. Yeah, but I'm coming with another joint right here with you guys today. I believe this is Thursday or Friday or whatever it is. But yeah, man, I dropped another one just to catch up for the week and keep on coming. Hey, listen. It is what it is, but like I said, I got to keep on coming with the content that I can provide with you guys until, you know, all these other things get put into place. And one of the things that really got threw things off was I had to do some PTAs, man. It's real PTAs, but this one, it was remote PTAs. And at a certain time, I just can't record. It's just not going to do well. I got to do it during the day. I'm really hoping at some point I could just get a studio and I could just go there and I could just do what I got to do and not have to be restricted in what I say, how I say it, when I say it, bop, bop, bop. You know what it is, folks. But I'm here. I'm back with a show for you guys. I want to try to get this rocking and rolling, do it under the hour. So I am on a time frame. If I had to watch, I'd be clicking in right now. But let's get it going. You know who I am. I'm Nova Phoenix. I am your host on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. And yes, let's just get the topics going and just go right into business. Yo, big ups to 50 Cent, man. 50 Cent been making moves. He been making moves. Yeah. So his deal finally ended with STARZ. All right. Now, you know, and he's at the point where he's got 25 shows in the making, in development, but his contract has officially ended with STARZ movie channel. Remember when he had all that issues that was going on with STARZ and they didn't want to, you know, give him the show, and it was being tight funny with the whole deal. And now he finally at the time he worked it out, and then he was just cranking out shows. So yeah, I guess he just completed this contract, and he bust out the shows that he got, and then Forever in Black cinema life is out there. You can see it whenever. You know what, really, I'm gonna be honest, man, I didn't really keep up with STARZ. I just didn't get STARZ, but it's not like I'm not going to see any of the 50 shows. I will see them at some point, but yo, big ups to 50. He's moving on to other things. He's got other productions. He wants to do documentaries and la. It's funny to see the growth of 50 Cent, you know, when he, Curtis Jackson, when he coming up in Queens, back in Jamaica, Queens, and you know, and he was a street dude, and then, you know, selling drugs and all that, and then, you know, he just made the choice to just get on, and he did 50 Cent. He did with his crew, and he was, you know, he got up with Eminem, and then, you know, I guess he chilled out. He tried to do movies, and then eventually he came to the point which was a pleasant, and then he did that Smart Water deal, and Coca-Cola bought it, and he got a big fucking chunk of money with that. And then, you know, he's doing movies now with Power, and Power is a great show with Ghost. I loved it, man. I forgot who's the guy that fucking played Ghost. I forgot that guy's name. Anyway, so, you know, and that was a big thing. I thought it was way better than Empire. I thought it was way better than Empire. And look at it, you know, my man's cranking out shows, and big ups, man. He came a long way. You know, you got to give 50 his flowers. Yeah, he could be petty as fuck. You know how he gets down, but, you know, in the midst of all that, he does get business done, and he's continuing, because there's a life after being a rapper. And that's what I was talking about, even with the young boys, even, you know, in the new generation of hip-hop cats. I just don't see them getting into anything. Like, I would like them just to do their thing, you know, with the music, and then segue into, like, I don't know, seeing commercials, getting into clothing, fashion, getting into What else? Anything tech is a big thing. Like, I want to see like Lil Uzi Vert or something doing a deal with Chamillionaire. You know who Chamillionaire, when he's like riding dirty, of course he left the music business and he switched over to like getting into startups, and he's in the tech industry. It would be dope for one of those artists to get up with Chamillionaire wherever he's at doing, working on these startups, and really kind of like get a fund together or working on a business, really do some boss moves. But I just don't see it, as I said before. But it is what it is. Maybe when somebody listens to this, they can do something a little different. But yeah, 50, big ups to 50, man. Hand him his flowers, man. He keeps on doing and bigger and better things, and I want all the success for this dude in the next 10-20 years, because you want to see black positivity, black progress, black growth, black founders, black entrepreneurs, and see that network building and a community formulated. And then of course all this can lead to, as I say, group economics and making money. Business as usual. Speaking of business, who knew that there's a black owned, I'm sure they're out there, I'm probably covered, but there's a black owned chocolate brand called the Philip Ashley brand. And this brother comes out of Memphis, and he's the exclusive chocolatier for Cadillac. I'm like, wow, this dude came out of nowhere. I never heard of this brand. His name is Philip Ashley Ricks, I think it's called. Let me just make sure of this. Philip Ashley, just want to get it right. You type something and for some reason autocorrect happens, and then it's like, what the hell is this word? So his name is Philip Ashley, and he started his chocolate business, and I'm going on a website right now. It's philipashleychocolates.com. And he's done a lot of different events. Like he's done the Emmys, he's done the Grammys, he's done the Oscars, providing his chocolates to the STARZ, and he's got different flavors. Let me see his different flavors. He's got his flavors like bacon caramel shortbread. How do you put bacon in chocolate? I have no idea. I don't even know how it tastes. I don't eat the swine. But I don't know how he puts the bacon flavor. And the other thing, he's got sweet potato. That's another strange one. And French blue cheese. It's funny. I used to like blue cheese. I really did. When you have your salads, you put the blue cheese on there, salad dressing. But now to me right now, blue cheese is too, for my palate, it's too pungent. And it just goes off for me. I don't do blue cheese anymore, and it's extra thick. And they did say when it comes to eating salads, you never want to use high calorie salad dressing, because you defeat the purpose of trying to eat healthy. So I had no problems letting go of blue cheese, because I don't know, I just lost the taste for blue cheese, and I just really on my salads I just have Italian dressing. But blue cheese in a chocolate, I don't know this, but I guess it works, because people are everywhere, or he's everywhere, getting his chocolates in the right hands at these events. Let me see here on the website. Oh, okay. So yeah, but like I said, go to philipashleychocolates.com and see if you can order some and get sent to your place, and let me know what you think of the chocolates. But that's dope that he's doing his thing with Cadillac. Yeah, that's super dope. What else? You know what? Check this out. WB. Unreal. So the whole thing with the WB, with DC, the merger with my man Zaslav. Let me see here. So I just heard that, and of course it comes from Grace Randolph, that the WB and the whole merger deal with HBO and Discovery Channel, the whole thing, and them cutting out what do you call it? Batgirl and dumping that and then dumping some of the animations. And it turns out the latest news is this is all, of course, this is business for business reasons, nothing creative as far as we know. But, you know, they're trying to kind of slim down some of what's necessary, the property, some of the properties under this merger. Not just to get the merger right and to make it look good for the investors, but the plan is to sell to NBC Universal in the next couple of years. They're gonna go through another consolidation. This merger and acquisition. More directly, I should say it like that. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I'm like, NBC Universal. I mean, it's good for Universal. Remember, I just came from vacation at Universal Studios. I mean, there's a lot of properties that's going to come up under NBC Universal if this merger and acquisition happens. Of course, DC and a lot of other properties, and it allows for NBC Universal to kind of create. I'm just in terms of theme parks. I think it's fantastic. They have the theme park, of course, with DC and all that. But I'm like, yo, I mean, come on. And this is the business. As I always said, the whole problem with DC is the fact, and I knew maybe it would have came from some of the talent. Of course, everybody says Henry Cavill is hard to deal with. Supposedly, allegedly, I'm thousands of miles away. I don't know him personally, but from what I try to research online, trying to figure out what's going on with the Snyderverse. Again, everything is still up in the air. They don't know if the Snyderverse is going to happen. They're saying, based on what The Rock is saying, that the Snyderverse is canon now in the the DCEU. It's possible the Snyderverse can continue, not with Zack Snyder as director for what he wanted for Justice League 2 and 3, but more so getting a director that's going to kind of copy his style and the look to carry on. Of course, everybody knows Ben Affleck. It has returned as Batman. He's going to be back in the Flash. He's going to be in Aquaman. The whole thing with pushing off Aquaman and what's the other movie? Not the Aquaman and Shazam. That's it. Shazam. Pushing that off the following year. Like it's a shakeup, unbelievable. And to know that NBC Universal potentially can buy this new merger, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy, and it's got nothing to do with talent, everything to do with the business aspect. But everything is, man, I just hope something can happen. And then they had this guy that Lynn, I believe his name, he was gonna kind of be like the Kevin Feige of DC. That didn't work because, let me see his name, Lynn, DCU, Dan Lin. His name was Dan Lin. He did a lot of work on some other big blockbuster flicks that people liked, but that is no longer happening because he wanted to create or tailor a deal that kind of made it work out for him and his company. So yeah, that's over with. Dan Lin is not even being considered to be the Kevin Feige, so that is like up in the air. It's a lot of mess that's happening. I guess when you step back, it's kind of like what the fans wanted, really what the hardcore sector of fans want the Snyderverse to happen. But the casual fans all knew that the whole thing that was happening with DCU had everything to do with the suits at the studio. They did not know what was happening. Whether we understand who Henry Cavill is or not, or that whole mix up with Ben Affleck. Remember, he was supposed to do a Batman standalone. He was supposed to direct and star. That messed up. That fell back. We all knew that a big part of why all of this was happening in DC was because of the executives. I don't know the name of it now. I forgot the names, but yeah, they're out because of the merger with Discovery. So now David Zaslav is taking his position to really get things straight. But of course, some people did say, I think Grace Randolph, I think she said that it's a possibility that this could be something bigger down the line as far as everything that was happening. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm really hoping. I'm seeing a lot of good talk with Black Adam. I saw the TV spot with Black Adam, of course, The Rock. They were all talking about that they should have had him like the original Black Adam with the widow's peak and the pointy ears like Spy. I'm like, nah, don't do that. They're gonna clown The Rock. They're gonna clown Dwayne. As soon as he gets on that first image with him, if they try to do an exact copy of Black Adam, because of course everybody knows Black Adam was a white dude with a widow's peak, short cropped haircut and pointy ears, right? If he would have done that, people would have joked off that movie no matter how good it was. And the way, from what I can see from the articles that I've read, keeping up, trying to get some insider information, from the variety of different websites is out there that's centering in and focusing on this new thing. Like, Dwayne Johnson is not playing. He really wants to be the anchor for DCEU. He really wants to bring in Henry Cavill and do like a Black Adam versus Superman battle. I do hope. There's a chatter that's going on saying that Henry Cavill did promise Dwayne that he was going to be in the Black Adam joint. And it's possible that he could be in there. Remember that they did the whole thing with the last Shazam where they did bring in Superman, but they cut off his head, of course, because of that whole business with Henry Cavill in the studio. But because they have such a great relationship with Henry Cavill and Dwayne Johnson, I think he's going to try to fulfill his promise to be in there. So where does it go from here? I don't know. Maybe this is a personal promise to put him in a suit and work something out. Supposedly in Henry Cavill's contract, there was supposed to be one last Superman appearance, and I guess that depends on when was his last appearance, whatever. But if he is contracted to have one last Superman appearance, it would be dope to have that in Black Adam. Maybe that could drum up this fan fever to get Henry Cavill to sign on for or Man of Steel 2 and continuing with the Snyderverse without Zack Snyder doing the directing. And this can be the jump off point for a real Justice League and all the other DC characters that could come in and out of this Justice League deal. So, I mean, let's see. Like I said, I'm hearing a lot of talk that there's, Henry Cavill's in, Henry Cavill's out. Henry Cavill went to Marvel to play another Marvel character. Personally, I don't think he should do that. Everybody sees Henry Cavill as the new Superman. To me, we haven't had a Superman since Christopher Reeve. So Henry Cavill, to me, is a perfect Superman. He shouldn't go off to Marvel because all people are going to see, to be honest with you, all they're going to see is Superman. All they're going to see is Clark Kent. And then for him to play some Marvel character that's a no-name dude, it would be like a snub to the WB studio, and the fans would be like, see, look what happened. You couldn't get it done. Your best Superman since you had it. The best Justice League movie, which is way better than the Justice League with Joss Whedon, and that was like a total clusterfuck of a movie. And then Zack Snyder came out saying, well, I really have my originals clips, and put together a beautiful Justice League movie. And what can you say, man? What can you say? You would hope that something will come out of this, but the way it looks, even if Henry Cavill was to sign up a new contract to continue being Superman, we probably won't see a Man of Steel probably in the next, this is 2022, 2026. Because he's already signed on for season 4 and 5 of Witcher on Netflix. The last season wasn't. I saw half of the last season. It kind of got me out. I do have to finish the rest of it, but he already signed off for another 4 or 5. He's going to be caught up with that. I don't know what other contracts that Henry Cavill's got going on, but just based on that, he's going to be locked up. Zack Snyder is locked up in a Netflix deal. He's got a couple of movies in the coming, right? He's got that. He's going to crank out a couple movies. So even if he wanted to do Justice League, at least Justice League 2, the sequel with all the original characters and actors, he can't even do that because he's got obligations with Netflix to punch out some of these movies. So, even Zach is kind of caught up. So the planets are not aligning on this. But what you can at least do is get a serious director that can probably the guy that he's kind of locked up in Joker too. To to do a new, probably new talent or someone out there that can kind of have a similar feel and style of what Zack Snyder did, and then he could kind of carry on the torch, you know, because that's exactly what they should be doing. As far as if you wanted to, there's no other better way. Sometimes you got to listen to fans. I know that there are some toxic fans out there, and they're pushing hard for the Snyderverse, and you know you can't get away from the noise. But at the same time, you also as a studio have to listen to the fans to a certain degree and know when you just hit something. Like when Zack Snyder came back and released his version of Justice League, and you put it out on HBO Max, people were salivating and they loved it. Don't be idiots. And that was why I was getting so upset with the WB. See, even my cat is upset with the WB. You know what you have, and then Zach was on the right track. All you have to do is continue it. Get everybody back on. Get Ben. Get Henry. Get Wonder Woman. Her freaking name, Aquaman, the Flash. I don't know, Ezra Miller. Oh, man, that's every time, and that's another thing. Ezra, what the hell, Ezra? But the studio, as we all know at this point, wants to keep on Ezra because he's in pretty much, you know, he's the star of the show for the first Flash movie out. Can they write out Ezra Miller in this Flashpoint similar movie? You know. It's possible they could do some reshoots, and all of a sudden he goes through, you know, whatever he goes through. I forgot the name of his power, but you know, he could come out of another universe with another actor. You know what I'm saying? They did, you know, they did it with Grant Gustafson. I think his name is Grant from the Flash on the TV. Grant Flash. I want to see his name. Grant Gustin. Grant Gustin. They did that in that little piece, right? And in that episode, and they were facing each other. You could do it here, and then, you know, Ezra Miller. But if Ezra Miller, to me personally, for me, I want Ezra Miller out. I personally want Ezra Miller out. I even went as far as to say dump the whole movie to Flash, but they, you know, they're not gonna do that. He's one of the major DC characters. But dump Ezra Miller, get a new guy, and then also bring back what's his name? Oh my God. And he had issues with Joss Whedon, Ray Fisher as Cyborg. Bring back Ray Fisher, get him on there. He was pretty much, as they say, the heart of Justice League in the Zack Snyder directed the Justice League. He was the heart of the movie, man. And Joss Whedon, of course, you know, he had his whole scandals and everything that was going down with, you know, he was, I don't know, I guess grooming young actresses or something like that. And his racist ways, whatever, you know, eventually that shit came out, and, you know, a bad situation, and the way he has a response to it. Anyway, Joss Whedon is out of here. So, you know, bring Ray Fisher back, and let's do this right. You know what I mean? Let's do this right. Jason Momoa, what's her name? Gal Gadot. Let's do this right. But, you know, we'll see how this kind of flies. But yeah, that's crazy how it's another merger and acquisition, another M&A, and I'm like, damn, we ain't gonna see nothing for a while. We ain't gonna see nothing for a while. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Yo, so check this out. So there is this woman online, right? I just got back online. I forgot to mention that. So I my old iPhone messed up. I could no longer charge. And I just found out too, because I thought, you know, I need to charge and I got to back it up and you can connect it to your computer so you can kind of back up. But what I learned is now iPhone, for a little bit, you could do wireless backing up. You can, you know, update it. You could transfer your data from your old phone to the new phone wirelessly. Like, wow, that's I didn't know that. But anyway, so my old phone is out of here. So because of my old phone messed up, and I told you guys last time, I bought a Samsung. It's trash. I didn't put any apps on it because I wanted to keep it bare bone, and it was a good opportunity just to get away from social media for a while and just, you know, kind of step back and just, you know, deal with the phone that I had. But now I got the new iPhone 14 Pro Max. I got the 1 terabyte joint. The dude at the store was like, yo, bro, you sure you need 1 terabyte? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I need the 1 terabyte. I need the 1 terabyte. And the only reason why I got the 1 terabyte because it was the closest one that I could get in a short period of time. So I ended up with the 1 terabyte. They had the 512. I couldn't get the 256 because I was like literally 2 gigs away from maxing out on my old phone. So it was either the 512 or the terabyte, but then something was with the 512 and they said it wouldn't come until like October. I was like, just give me the terabyte joint. So I got that 1 terabyte. It's a nice phone. It's cool. I'm just looking it up. The interesting thing is it never turns off. Like, you know, of course, when you don't use your iPhone, the screen will go blank. But now with this new iPhone 14, what it does, it just dims down. So some phones, when it kind of when you're not using it and it goes into sleep mode, you'll still see the clock, and you'll probably some widgets or something like that. You know, it'll be black, but you'll see the clock it ticking away. So I guess iPhone tried to do their own version, but instead of just having people see the clock, it literally just powers down and it goes dark, but you could still see your wallpaper. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't have a problem with that. I was watching a YouTube channel with that brother that brother does all the tech stuff. Let me see if I can find him. This guy, I like this guy. He was just reviewing technology and all that good stuff. And then all of a sudden he kept on doing YouTube videos. And now he's like the go-to guy for anything new in terms of the technologies out there. What's his name? Let me see if I can find him. Let me see if I can find his brother. Let me see, iPhone 14 review. Let's see if it comes up in my search. Yeah, this guy, Marquise Brownlee. So he was on some sort of podcast or show with 2 other dudes, and they were reviewing the phone. And yeah, man, they were talking about all the new features, and there's still a lot of things. My wife was kind of showing me, you know, the different features of it, because you can still upload this. If you got the old phone and you're not ready for the 14, you probably want to wait for the 15. You, of course, as always, all the Apple users, you can upload the new OS to the old phone. But you know, the downside to that is, you know, if your phone is old, it could get kind of glitchy. So anyway, the point is, I got my new phone. I'm happy. I got all my social media. All that to say, so this lady, Ashley, what's her freaking name? So let me go to my Twitter. I don't understand some people. So this woman that I actually follow her because I do remember her, that she did like MSN. I think she was talking a bit some on some shows like MSNBC and blah 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 blah. But you know, supposedly she came up with they say she's the co-founder of Sister SCOTUS website. She's a social media influencer. She kind of coined the phrase "Oscar so white," so she says. And you know, so she said something about Charlamagne the God. So Charlamagne, he has a show. I think it's on Comedy Central, I believe. So Charlamagne says something about, as far as DeSantis sending up immigrants to Martha's Vineyard up here, up north, and then, you know, the other governor, whatever that dude's name, whatever that crackhead's name is, he did the same thing like DeSantis, and he sent them to California, I think, or something or other. So she said that she was tired. It was a little clip of Charlamagne kind of not saying that he shared the same viewpoint of DeSantis. All he did was give props on the move of DeSantis sending immigrants up to sanctuary cities, because of DeSantis actually challenging these sanctuary cities to say, well, if you don't have much problems with immigrants, then you don't mind taking the immigrants I got. So all Charlamagne was saying that it was kind of like, that's a boss move. I got to give it to him. So this lady, April Rain, simply said, let me see if I could go to it. She said, so many folks still rock with this dude, and I truly don't understand. And she retweeted on the recount page on her site with him, Charlamagne, saying his piece. So I'm like, yo, what's the problem? What's the big problem? I don't understand. Like, you know, he didn't say he agreed with Governor DeSantis. He didn't say that he was down with sending immigrant. He didn't say nothing like that. All he said was, yo, I kind of dig the move that he did in a way of trying to throw it back in the face of all these Democrats running these sanctuary cities. Let's see if Democrats, all that joint, all that nonsense they talking, let's see if they really are for immigrants when they're at your front door. Okay? I simply said, hey, in response, you can appreciate a move without agreeing with it. Chess players say it to each other all the time. Don't take it personal, April. Right? That's all I said, because I was like, why is she saying all that stuff about, you know, Charlamagne? I thought it was unnecessary. So she responds saying, here we go with hashtag chess not checkers Twitter. What move are we talking about here, player? You quote unquote appreciate the way Leonard is I can imagine her saying that for some reason. The way Leonard is promoting his brand while denigrating black and brown folks. Do you? I'm like, huh? Is he denigrating black and brown people? All he said was his opinion, like I said before. I'm like, what is she talking about? When I hear this, right, it makes me feel that something happened between her and Charlamagne for her to spit poison at him on Twitter. Whatever that it is, she feels a reason to critique his words and kind of go through it with a fine-tooth comb and knock him down a couple pegs. I'm like, what did Charlamagne do to this lady, or what happened? Because usually when you dig and you peel back the layers, they probably ran into each other at some point in the past, and then now she felt soured or whatever, and now she's getting at my man on Twitter. You know what I mean? So then she responds to me, and from what I said to her, how is Leonard, quote unquote, let me see, I said here, and she says, here we go with the chess checker, right? So she said that, and I responded, I'm looking just at this clip. I didn't see the whole thing, because just to give it put it in the proper frame, right, in this argument, this little back and forth, I'm saying, all right, I only saw the clip. I didn't see the whole thing. I'm just responding to this little clip that you, April, reshared, right? So I'm saying, I'm just looking at this clip. Don't cast stones at CthaGod. And I tagged him, right? Know what your real opponent is doing and strategize a counter. Fighting on Twitter against someone who ideologically is similar to you is a waste of time and a game of theatrics. And I fully believe that, because why in the hell here you got Governor DeSantis making an asshole move and shipping human beings that live and breathe, that have 2 legs, 2 arms, have families with them, just so he can prove some stupid ass point to some Democrats in the sanctuary cities, right? So he could get a pat on the back with his constituents, and they goes like, yeah, Governor DeSantis, you stick it to him. Like, and that's what he did, right? Your real opponent is Governor DeSantis, not just on his immigrant thing, but all the talking points that he's making at every press conference. Really, he's doing Make America Great Again. He's trying to do Trump in his own little way, right? He's doing a cheap knockoff of Trump. And Trump is a cheap knockoff of himself, man. Trust me, he ain't no grade A or nothing. He's a cheap knockoff of himself. He's trash. Anyway, so I'm like, why are you getting that? To me, it's a loser's game. It's a loser's game when someone, your opponent, strikes out and puts a move on you that puts a little chink in your armor, shoots off the bow, and all you could do is look at the guy next to you and say, how come you didn't do something about that? That's a loser's game. You're not doing anything to really counter the move or to have an effective counter strike or anything that's going to kind of put this dude DeSantis in a place because of that dumbass move that he did. But no, all you want to do is argue with the guy next to you and do infighting. That's how I saw it as. Ideologically similar. You guys may not believe, between Charlamagne and April Reign may not be a total carbon copy of each other on their viewpoints, but they share similar, we all understand immigrants, everybody has a right, all the issues that black people go through here, the injustice, the historically what black people has gone through, and whatever happens to other POCs across America, they do match up in certain ways. And you're going to fight this guy. You're going to try to downplay this dude on what he said. And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. So now I said my piece. So she responds. She says, how is Leonard, quote unquote, ideologically similar to me when he sexually assaults women? She said, women, multiple. Break it down for me like I'm 8. Man, I would break it down to her like she's 8, because she's certainly acting like an 8-year-old. I have no problem. That's not a hard thing to do. Based on what I just read and what she did, I'll break it down to you like you're 6. How about that? Let's break out the colorful letter blocks, and I'll spell it right out for you. And those colorful we could get crayons, we could get a drawing aboard or something, and we whatever. I'll take it slow with you, April. I'll take it slow, just so you can understand how stupid that you're sounding. And to me, it's also a cheap trick. I know what she did, right? I challenged her to what she said publicly on Twitter. So she's trying to out me on Twitter, number one. She's trying to put it out there and say, trying to make me look like I'm going to scurry under a rock because she sent it all to her 150,000 followers. Like, I'm not going to say nothing to challenge her on what she said. So now, because I challenged her and I threw a sharp one at her, she wants to get back at me and weaponize these alleged assaults that Charlemagne did on women. And what she wants me to do is to scurry back under some rock or deep dark place because I'm a man and I don't want to feel like, oh my God, listen to women. Let's Me Too this guy. Let's Me Too this unknown fellow and send him back whence he came, right? I get it. I know what you're trying to do. And to me, that's a cheap shot. You went right for the gut. Right for the gut. So no, I'm not one to back down from a fight. That's not me. So I simply said, let me see if I could find it. Let's see if I can find it. I just had it, April. And some of her cohorts is like, yeah, I don't understand what you mean. Like, that's what she wants. She wants people to gang up on me and try to invalidate me based on the amount of people that's going to shut me down. But that's not happening. All right. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. And I said, okay. And I said to her, oh, really? Come on. Everyone knows how you skip taking showers during hot summer days. Oh, did I just make an accusation without evidence on here? Oh, dear me. I could never. I'll try not to do that. And maybe you shouldn't either. It's not becoming of you. LOL. Are you going to say something about something as serious as assaulting women, just so you can get one through a cheap shot so I can fall back on someone else? Now, I'm all for if a woman gets assaulted, a dude should be dealt with proper like. Put him under the jail. Man, sometimes I'm like, maybe we shouldn't go to legal, but I can't say that right now. I ain't say that. But the fact is, a lot of times what's happening. Say what?
What'd you say?
All right. I was gonna say I want to do some other illegal, but I'm not gonna say that. Can't say that on the show. I'll be promoting violence and all that. So I'm not gonna say all that. But what I will say it is a problem is sometimes, just like men, some women are trife. And there's some women that will drum up some fake cases for whatever reason against certain dudes, and it's not true. And you can destroy a person's livelihood, a person's career, based on a lie. And there are some that are out there, some women that are trifling, that will drum up a fake story just because they got something against a man. Because, of course, the saying is believe all women. And honestly, I'd be like, I was for that. Hashtag believe all women. Then I was like, wait a second. Let me not go all in on this one, because that could be an issue, as what I stated previously just now. So for her to do that, I thought that was suspect. That was irresponsible for her to say something that reckless against Charlamagne the God without evidence, because a lot of people do mess up there. The whole Amber Heard, what's my man name? Captain Jack Sparrow situation, that whole court case. And Amber Heard was the one that got my man kicked off the movie. What's that damn movie? He got them kicked off. Let me see. No, not Pirates of the Caribbean. Captain Jack Sparrow. No. I can't believe I can't remember my man's name. And I hate the fact that when you bring up a movie. Okay, thank you. Can I talk? Okay. Anyway, so Johnny Depp, that Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, right? With Johnny Depp. So because of the Amber Heard situation, while Johnny Depp was doing the movie of the Harry Potter sequels, what was the Harry Potter movies? It wasn't Harry Potter, but Fantastic Beasts, right? Got him kicked off that movie, man, because Amber Heard came. So that's why you got to be really careful. If you're going to say something that serious, you better have evidence. And I think just like how you have the Karens that call the cops, and then on brothers that are doing absolutely nothing, and we know what that means. You know what those Karens are doing. They know that you know what happens when you call the police on a black man. As far as these white Karens are going, they know what could be a possible outcome. A black man ended up dead. For them to call the cops on something like, I don't know, you step on a shoe, we know what they're doing. The black man's that's getting the cops calling them. They know, he knows what the possible outcome is. So just the same way that's problematic in every which way is problematic when a woman says something against a man and hurls an accusation at him saying that he assaulted women. You could destroy his career. And that's what happened to Johnny Depp. So for April Reign to throw that at Charlamagne the God on Twitter, she knows what she was doing. She's being mad reckless. She was trying to shut down someone that actually challenged her on Twitter against what she said initially. So that's crazy. That's a little back and forth. And I follow this woman, and I tend to forget some of the things that she's done, the accomplishments. But I do recognize faces. I know who she was. I'm like, yeah, that's April Reign. Okay, cool. Let me follow her. Now I'm like, really, bro, really. You lose respect for people like that, man. How they could be so reckless. Now I'm gonna unfollow her. Nah, I even follow my enemies. I'm not saying she's quite an enemy, but I follow everybody. I follow people that I follow enemies. I follow people that I question, I'm not so sure about. I follow. So I'm not gonna unfollow her. I'm gonna keep on watching, see what she's doing, because I'm just going. And you think, man, I swear. Yeah, man. So that was my story. April Reign is a suspect individual, man. Just remember that. I hate celebrities in a certain degree. You never, as they say, what's that saying they do say? Never look up to your heroes. Because when you do and you get into their circle, you happen to be in a situation where you're face to face with them and you say, oh my God, I really love your music. I really blah, blah, blah. And they turn out to be absolute assholes. You know what I'm talking about. You know those stories. I've had a couple in my past. So, that's why you don't make people that you admire your heroes, because they tend to disappoint. So in this situation, how I had some respect for April Reign for the things that I do remember in the past, not all the details, but everything that she's done. I'm like, and you want to support a black woman, of course, right? And then for that to come out, I was like, oh man, yeah, it goes into the doldrums. but it is what it is. Right? All right. So the next thing, last thing I have on this list that I want to talk about is cryptocurrencies, as always. So I'm trying to get my white paper done. I'm trying to get as done as possible in the next month. So I was going to pull it back from doing a little bit of the VC search and really get the white paper done to really kind of break this out in the way I think that's kind of like the final hurdle of what I have to do for this move in the Web3 space. To get this white paper finished out, and if anybody wanted to get a full understanding of what Lyfeblood is, the brand, as we're in this new Web3 space, and you could get it from the pitch deck, but again, this goes into detail in this white paper, and I think it would be a necessary gear in this whole machine to have. So I want to get, hopefully I can get that one. I could do at a record pace. I want to give myself a solid month just to get at least the general idea. And then I can fine tune it and buff out the rough spots. And then I can have my white paper along with everything. So yeah, pretty much I got the brand. Everybody knows I'm moving into the Web3 space. I'm reaching out to VCs. I have my crypto token. I have my token officially. I have not released that to people as yet. This time I'm going to keep that close to the chest, and when I'm ready, I'll release it. And now at that final point is to do. I have, of course, a pitch deck that's tailored for Lyfeblood to be in the Web3 space, being in Lyfeblood DAO. Now the only thing that's left is to have the white paper. And I think it would be dope just to get that white paper done. So, and it shows that you're serious in the venture that you're doing, and the investors can know really that you've done your homework and you have a full 360 degree view of what the brand is, where it's going, and how this is going to be competition to all the other brands that are out there. I mean, even though we're going to a current crypto winter, we're not exactly out of it yet. But yeah, I was looking at this article. I forgot where I read this. And a lot of times what happens is, coming back into Twitter, I'm seeing that, there's still people that are unsure on the direction of Web3 because all these companies are kind of folding and falling into themselves. And of course, going through this crypto winter. So of course, there is doubt in the market. And there's a lot of companies that lost absolute tens of millions of dollars in a matter of minutes. But of course, because, we're dealing, it's a volatile market. It's still a new market. There's certain things that are going to come into play. It's going to fall apart. The code to a lot of these websites and a lot of these platforms are not 100%. And what platform is, or any invention is, you're always going to have something that's going to fall apart. Someone is going to exploit a weak link in the chain, and they're going to get in to show, see, look, I got into it. This is not 100%. And then you have the analog boys, of course, the people that have been doing things a certain way in this economic system the last 70, 80 years. They're not going to appreciate moving into cryptocurrency and NFT marketplaces and understanding that it is decentralized. They're not going to like that. You're essentially trying to delegitimize the dollar. But, a lot of companies are not trying to do that. They're saying, hey, we can work right alongside the dollar. But here's an opportunity for people to go down another road and make money and build a new economic system that's healthier, that could work out some of the flaws that we've already know is in capitalism with this fiat currency that we use as far as the dollar. And I know a lot of these cryptocurrencies and all these related organizations are blatantly scamming people, and they're spreading doubt about the technology. But I like what's happening as far as this crypto winter that's happening, because it gives the opportunity to separate the men from the boys. It gives an opportunity to kind of filter and get to the real founders that want to truly make a change on where we at in our 21st century society, global society, not just one country, but the world over. And the people that wants to use Web3 as a casino and trying to make a quick buck and run off, We can, as far as the investors are concerned, the venture capitalists, the angel investors, and everybody else that trades money from one hand to the other will be a little bit more confident, a little bit more, I hate to use the word, not discriminatory, but at least filter out the true people that want to make a change in this Web3 space, because you cannot deny this is a new thing. Just like how the internet itself was introduced to the masses, and how it was like, wow, where are we going with this? And there were bright eyes and big ideas, and the internet has revolutionized how we as humans interact with each other. So people see that in the Web3 space. So you have this company, this organization that was called Give Crypto. That was created by founder Brian Armstrong. He wrote a blog about it, about that crypto was going to get mainstream adoption. And he put an executive director, Joe Waltman, in charge of Give Crypto. It's a nonprofit organization that it was all about trying to encourage people to take on the cryptocurrency into the market. And it was birthed in June 2018, not too long ago, a little bit before COVID took place. So this guy, Joe Waltman, he reached out to this young fellow. I think it was Upwork. I think it was Upwork. And he reached out to a Christian Maloba. There was this brother at the DRC in Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo. He's a student, and the deal was to look for ambassadors to spread the word about the organization, teach about crypto, set people up with crypto wallets, so they can eventually transfer ETH to the Congolese franc, and then they could buy things, other things that can kind of encourage or spark a new economic way of doing things in the Congo. So, of course, you want to work with a country that has a deflated currency. So, of course, they're going to be, a country with a strong currency. It's going to be a little bit harder to adopt cryptocurrency. But with a country that actually has a depressed economy, you can introduce cryptocurrency and help spread the word and involvement in activity of crypto, right? So they got this guy, this dude, Christian Maloba, to be an ambassador and talking about people. And they said in doing this work, he's going to be able to receive monetary compensation for all these setups. So they say that we get $30 out of every $100 given within that local community. And you know what? It worked. And Maloba asked for his money. He got people to get on it, and they did a lot of useful things in the village or the community, and people loved it. They thought it was a great idea, and they were a little funny about. They thought it was going to be a hard. What's the word I'm looking for? Transfer over, for lack of a better phrase, adoption of cryptocurrency. That's the better word from these folks in the local community, because it's a new technology, and it could be a lot more complex, and people may get intimidated and like, oh, I don't know what this is. But Maloba did do his thing. He got a lot of people to transfer over, and he set them up with crypto wallets. They transferred ETH to the Congolese franc, and they used it for things that were necessary in the community. A lot of people were happy, honestly. So, of course, Maloba went back and he spoke to Joe Waltman, and he's like, hey, can I be compensated as we originally agreed? Guess what? He didn't get paid. Man, that's not surprising, right? Not surprising. So, being the nice guy that this Maloba guy is, even though he wasn't hearing anything back from Joe Waltman, he continued to promote the brand of Give Crypto, of course. Continued on. Now, Maloba is not the only ambassador that was involved in this venture, right? In this initiative. He got Joe Waltman got some other people. He got a guy named Alejandro Antique Zapata from Venezuela. That's a terrible Spanish accent, but I'll do my best, especially for me coming from Panama, where my family's from. You think I would have a better Spanish accent? Let me give it a try one more time. Alejandro Antique Zapata. Yeah, That's still not good. So this guy, they got to him to be an ambassador in Venezuela, and he was working 40 hours a week. Guess what he got? Not zero. This guy got paid $400 a month, and it was later increased to $600. You see the fuckery that's going on here? And it goes back to a Twitter thing. Someone said that Bitcoin was going to save humanity. I'm like, no, Bitcoin is not going to save humanity. Because if you can base saving humanity on a newly introduced technology, humanity would have been in a literal heaven a long time ago. All right. It would have been Valhalla a long time ago with the invention of the toaster. To create, the paperclip. If we can leave the advancement of human society based on the inventions that are cranked out, man, I'm telling you. So no, it's not technology that's going to save humanity. It's going to be humanity that's going to save humanity. All these things are just tools. Web3 is just a digital tool. It's no different from the hammer. But here is the effery that came along that only supports what I said. Now, here we go. We're stepping into Web3. And this guy, Joe Waltman, stiffs Christian Maloba. Guy didn't know. I want to say no. He was a grown-ass kid. Grown-ass man. I'm not going to say he's a kid. He was a college student, for Christ's sakes. All right. But here it is. He bounced on paying this dude $30 out of every $100 setup that he was going to give to any member. But yet now he goes to give money to it. See how racism works out, man? Oh, yeah, man. So the effery continues no matter what, bro. We could be in Star Trek type world and racism will still be alive and well. So anyway, Give Crypto had some issues as far as U.S. regulations, sanctions in other countries, U.S. sanctions that is, and whatever possible issues that was happening in Venezuela from the president of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. Some complained that the crypto's complexity was going to be too much for third world country people, but obviously, as I said before, that wasn't an issue in the community where Maloba was from. So Maloba continued his ambassadorship, even though he was calling this dude and Joe Waltman, and he had like a sketchy, it was very sporadic as far as the communication between Maloba and Joe Waltman. And then eventually, of course, several more people joined the network over time. And 2 months later, Maloba contacted Mr. Waltman again. And guess what was the response? Absolutely nothing. After that, later, Give Crypto was eventually absorbed by Coinbase. And this was all promoted and it was talked about on the Coinbase blog. And next thing you know, you never heard from Give Crypto again. Now, there was some email exchanges, some talk was happening on was happening between Waltman did get in contact. There was one other correspondence email saying there could be possible branch off initiatives, but the org was officially non-existent and all emails were stopped. Maloba was just left stranded. Yeah. So that's the story. I have no idea what happened to Give Crypto once it was absorbed back into Coinbase. It was never talked about by the founder of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. But again, I don't know what happened because it was servicing a lot of people in the DRC, in Venezuela, a couple of other countries. Why? I don't understand what pulled them back. Now, was it because of the crypto winter? Was there something wrong with the mission statement? Something going on with Coinbase? They never really explained why Give Crypto just straight up vanished, why it did not continue. But let me tell you, it was working. Crypto does work. It does work. Is it a little creaky? Does it have its missteps? Sure. Yes, it does. But what is the problem with crypto today in the Web3 space? Is shady, untrustworthy people. Is the technology shaky? Yeah, as I said, nothing's 100%. But of course, it comes up to the coders and the people that really do believe in Web3 to really roll their sleeves up, get down and dirty, and come up with a better system. We already done it. Remember cars back in the day in thievery 20 years ago? Cars were getting stolen left and right. But technology caught up, and stealing cars and busting them down in chop shops, it's not really a thing anymore. Because they got LoJack, and then they can locate, they can follow they got chips in them. You can follow where these vehicles go. You can literally turn off the car mid-drive remotely. I mean, it's too many downsides to stealing a car nowadays for a car thief. The technology got better. So you can't say with all the failures that are happening now that Web3 can't be something tomorrow. But what's the real problem with Web3 and all these platforms is that you got effery happening with the founders that are spearheading these companies. They're doing shady shit and they're going out there to make a buck with their platform. And then when things don't look right or they oversell, it falls, the floor falls out, and they jump ship and they go off to do something else. That is what's the main problem with Web3 than what we're dealing with right now. Now, there's a whole lot of companies that's done it before. Everybody knows what's going on. You have Terra Luna with Do Kwon, that clusterfuck of a situation. You got Squid Game. You had the tokens creators perform a rug pull. They dipped off with $3.3 million in funds. The Squid Game, of course, was named off of the movie on Netflix, the famous movie on Squid Game on Netflix. And then they came out with this thing, and then all of a sudden it was doing super great. Oh my God! And people were like, oh, it's another great platform that's coming out. And then next thing you know, the freaking founders ran off with the money. Whatever happened to those founders? I think Squid Game was a Korean company. What happened? You got to have internet. This is where I think regulation should happen. And I'll get that to that. Matter of fact, I'll get to that in a second. And then, of course, you have Celsius. Celsius, a lending platform that promised high yields from deposit crypto. They were offering returns to customers that weren't real. Depositors. The paid depositors, they were paying depositors with the money from new users. That was another problem. And of course, it was linked to the failure of Terra Luna. They invested $500 million in their anchor. That was another lending platform that was connected to Terra USD. The general outlook right now is fear in the crypto market. That is what is continuing the crypto winter. A lot of people were frozen out of their assets. A lot of transactions were halted in the unstable market. People are genuinely fearful because people are coming in and doing fuck shit and messing up the game. Now, some of them are doing it because they're treating it, as I said, like a casino, and they're just trying to get the money and run. They trying to get that fast money. You're like, wait a second, I'm not here. I'm just trying to get some bread. I'm trying to sell an NFT and make an NFT and sell it tomorrow for $250K. You got a lot of people like that. You got a lot of people with gold fever and messing things up and really trashing this game. And then also you got some of the analog boys sending out some others, on the low, starting these this is my personal opinion. Starting these companies, not to, of course, to make it work, but to tank it later in the public eye. So you have millions of people see this huge balloon just floating in the air that has the name of the company on the side of the big blimp. And next thing you know, someone flips the match and seeing this thing blow up around millions of people just so they could get turned. I honestly believe that because I'm like, what is happening? Are we not trying to start a business? Are we not trying to be the next Facebook? Are we not trying to be the next Microsoft? Are we not trying to be the next, Apple computer? Are we not trying to be the next big automaker? These people are coming in and literally imploding. They're throwing in the grenades and looking these companies explode. Like in Die Hard, the Nakatomi building. They seeing the Nakatomi building blow the hell up. And you're like, hey, I'm walking away with this money. And I'm surprised that so many people are not going to jail, man. It's literally, you can, and that's part of the problem with Web3 space. There's no real international regulation. United States government is trying to do it, of course. I was kind of like watching it with Senator Gillibrand. I'm thinking other Republican senators, they're trying to put regulations, and I'm not all for that. I see with the attempt, they trying to be all nicey nice, but I'm not with the U.S. government trying to put some sort of regulations on cryptocurrency, because you take away the very spirit of what this whole Web3 thing is about. It's about decentralized. No one has a hold on this like how we understand our current economic system around the fiat currency we're using. So that is the magic of decentralization. No one has control over it. You can't destroy it, can't copy it, can't do anything. This thing just exists. You can only add on. Now, if you really wanted to put regulations in the spirit of Web3, you should have someone create a nonprofit, a Web3 nonprofit that's going to put together the information and regulations that every person in the Web3 space can agree on. You could do a vote and you say, this is how we're going to move. If so said people does this, like what happened with Squid Game, that we're going to come after you. We're going to put you, I don't know, a world court. I don't know what world court you could do, but then these people must be arrested. I don't even know if the people of Squid Game got arrested and they running off with the money. But that's what is the problem with Web3, and we have to do things. And as I say, I love what's going on right now in this winter, because we have to start figuring out what solutions can we implement that's going to only show up this Web3 space, so we can make solid companies, whether it's Coinbase, whether it's a lending institution, whether it's in whatever way that Web3 can manifest in the variety that it can. And that's the beauty. We got to do what's necessary to keep it alive, because it's a wonderful invention and we can't leave it. And a lot of we're hearing a lot of the doubters saying, well, all this money, all this rug pulling and losing billions of dollars in minutes. I'm like, listen, the economic system has hundreds of millions of dollars annually per year on fraud, losing money on fraud. So please save me that business as far as Web3 being untrustworthy. You can't believe you're going to lose billions of dollars. A Ponzi scheme. It's only going to go to the future. We're already doing that now with the money that we're using. All right. So stop that. So I want to truly implement some solutions that's going to shore up Web3 space in whatever way possible. We can put the greatest minds together, and even if it's not official and people put their minds together, each company does their own part to whether it's in the code, whether it's regulation that has to be done in the Web3 space, where we can reinforce this new thing that we are stepping into, that we are involved with, that we're fully immersed in. I understand people are scared. I understand that people are worried. They're putting their hard-earned money into crypto. Yes, and all these things, they're legitimate failures. As I said with the Wright brothers, when they made the first plane, they made a couple of first planes before that plane flew. Now we have planes going all around the world from country to country, because you had a couple of brave guys say, you know what, I'm going to get this contraption to fly. This is a new transportation for human beings. I'm not going to stop until it gets off the ground. And certainly did. That's no pun intended. It got off the ground and made it happen. Now we got jet planes in the air. Now we're going to the moon. We're planning to go to Mars. Just from an idea, because two brothers did not give up. Look at where we're at today. So as far as this Web3 is concerned, yeah, we're going to take some lumps. We're going to take some really hard ones, as what we know. Even Coinbase took some lumps too. And we have to figure out how we're going to move forward if we're going to truly use this in a way that it should be done. The passionate people in the true spirit of Web3, the folks that live in that, breathe, in every possible way, they are all the way crypto. They are all the way Bitcoin. We should do what's necessary to carry us into this new age. So, and that's why I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop, because I know it's bigger than me. It's not about being in business and quarterly earnings and staying in the black and keeping out the red and investors and how we're going to move, what we're going to stretch through. This is truly something that I feel that I can leave, not just hopefully for my kid or for my family, but for the world over. That this could be the turn. Maybe it's a Wright brothers situation, as I said. The Wright brothers are long and dead. They have served their time on the planet. They are no longer worm food, but they are dust. Their bodies, anyway. They had their time and they're gone. But the time that they had, they did something that changed our lives entirely. Forever. And that's what this is for me. So yeah, we could be through this crypto winter. It could take time with venture capitalists and building out this thing, but it is bigger than me. And the only time I'll stop, guess when? Guess when the time I'll stop? When it's my last breath. When I breathe my last breath. So I mean, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in 2023 and 24, 25, where we're going with this. And then and we can finally introduce in small. It's one brick at a time, man. You know what I mean? The one brick at a time to build this Great Wall of China. We're going to go where we're going to go. But don't be afraid. Be brave. That's how human beings got in uncharted territory or into new places. Yeah, humans got to where they did on this planet, early humans. It's not like they weren't afraid. Of course they were afraid entering into new places, strange places. But they kept going. They kept pushing through. And we are here where we are right now. So there's always going to be fear when you stepping into new things. But it's what you do in that moment. What you do when you're facing adversity. What you do when you're facing that object of fear. That is what makes people different. What separates the men from boys, the women, the girls from the women. That is what makes us who we are today. And all the inventions that surround us, all the new technologies, everything from street lights to cars to astronomy, astrology, going to Mars and the planets beyond, landing freaking satellites on meteorites, taking the ore, the minerals, it flying off and heading back to Earth because people pushed through, even though they had fear. Even though, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be interrupted. I mean, my wife always interrupts me, even when at the last minute. Could have been a tap, could have been a ring, could have been a text. I'm trying to get my thought out. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for listening to me on this show. Hey, thank you, Sharon, for letting me to give me the heads up. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, always. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys next week. Be well, be better, and be the best person that you can be.
Bye.
That's all the time we got. We out of here. Peace.
Yo, check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.